Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, like I said, there are only 28 of us right now. I see, of course, Dr. Aini is here with us. I see Dr. Haslina, Dr. Noor. So yeah, I think we should just go ahead. So welcome everyone to the virtual training on final assessment 2.0. So just a bit of a reminder. We are all aware we're going to have our final, I believe, starting from 11 January until the 23rd of January. And I think final assessment has also begun for most of us, since this is the last week of the semester. So I realized that it is 2.0. I guess today's training is the second one, following the one that we had last semester during the RTL period. I think perhaps like Dr. Mazin mentioned that since we have this TALEEM C, we need to be retrained, I guess, for this. So yeah, if we had attended the first one, this is still a good opportunity to remind ourselves again on the steps to conduct online exam via TALEEM. So as you all know, we have Associate Professor Dr. Feham today with us from the Department of Arabic Language and Literature. He is, of course, our resident expert on anything TALEEM. Dr. Feham is, of course, the Deputy Dean of Academic for the Center of Postgraduate Studies, CPS. He is currently a member of IIUM Educator Training 4.0 and actively conducts trainings on TALEEM and other e-learning platforms organized by the Center of Professional Development, CPD, and also by our kuliah. So now I would like to invite Dr. Feham to give us your talk and also on the training on how to conduct a final exam and assessment on TALEEM. So please, Dr. Feham.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I believe that all of you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, I will share the similar that I had shared during the previous semester. The similar content where I was talking about the assessment, final examination, how to conduct and do the procedure of final examination using TALEEM. Okay, using TALEEM. We have different other platform. Maybe some of you will be using other platform, but since the streamline commonly used by all of us is TALEEM, so the focus is on TALEEM. Okay, platform. I'll share my screen. Let me. Okay, just a moment. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. So basically, we're talking about assessment in the TALEEM and how to conduct examination using final examination, in particular using this platform. Okay, so my point of reference is that I'll be reviewing the steps, okay, that had been submitted to all of us. The flow chart of the one produced by the kuliah and disseminated to all of us, where we have to follow certain procedures, steps in particular, how to implement our final examination using TALEEM platform. I'm also referring to another document also as an example of how the exam paper has been prepared and then later distributed to the student using TALEEM platform. Okay, so viewing the flow chart, So right from the beginning, if I were to go one by one from the steps, from the first step where the department will keep all the examination papers, vetted examination papers in a specific place via online or using the thumb drive. Okay, so this is the first step, and then the second step where the question papers will be distributed to all lecturers. Okay, either using thumb drive or using email. And then the third step is that the question paper will be uploaded to TALEEM platform. Okay, and then following that, session will be conducted between the lecturer and the students. This session not necessarily online, but it can be mostly done online since the students are not here with us. But not using even TALEEM platform, using different other platform for the communication. So the session will be conducted between the lecturer and his or her student. For step 5, lecturer must be on standby mode during the period of the examination, just to expect if any question, okay, from the students forwarded to the lecturer during the examination session. And then step 6, the lecturer must ensure that all the answer scripts submitted during the prescribed time and then during the allocated time, and then to ensure that there'll be no problems during the submission, and students are advised to submit earlier, okay, half an hour before the deadline. And then step 7, the lecturer must ensure that all students do the submission by checking list of assignment or list of scripts submitted in the online TALEEM platform. Step 8, where the lecturer will download all the answer scripts. And then step 9, whether he or she want to print out the answer script or just do the marking online, okay, at his or her convenience. So that will be under step 9. And then step 10, department will validate all the marks for the answer script. And then later, the last, before the end of this process, all answer script should be submitted to Office of the Academic, okay, and Industrial Linkages for it to be kept, and then for the kuliah record. So those are the steps. Okay, those are the steps. In order to do so, I'll have it in the form of this explanation, where the explanation that I want to share with the rest of you, I will just go through the steps that I have in the flow chart, and how to pinpoint some of the steps in relation to TALEEM, where you want to use TALEEM in order to implement those steps. Okay, and then maybe I want to share some issues, probably that we have time in order to cover some issues pertaining to online assessment, in particular the use of rubrics, as well as read in, if you want to use read in order to check elements of plagiarism in the student works. Okay, so the first of the agenda is the flowchart. Okay, the flowchart. Okay, from the flowchart, we start with step 1. Okay, starting from step 1, where the department will keep all the vetted question papers. Okay, so I think at this moment, by this moment, we have all this information kept by the department, okay, in dedicated place, either online or on the storage USB by the department. Okay, I believe maybe some department, they have their own Google Drive folder in order to keep all the documents inside. Okay, so this will be the first step. Okay, so I believe that it should be, have completed by all departments, and it has no relation with TALEEM. Okay, it's just a matter of storing all the documents using the available tools. In particular, we have Google Drive for that purpose. After step one, we have the second step, where distribution of all vetted question papers. This is again maybe through email, through WhatsApp, through available communication between the office and all lecturers of the department. Okay, so the dissemination of this information should be done accordingly, so that the lecturer will know what is the final version, okay, of the vetted question paper, where this version will be shared by the student, will be shared by the lecturer with his or her student during the final examination session. Okay, then we move to step 3. Step 3 is actually uploading the question paper. Okay, step is uploading the question paper onto TALEEM. Okay, so in order to do so, we will using a module, okay, in TALEEM. The module is assignment module. We have it in the form of, I'm referring this to a question, and the nature of the question is essay type question. Okay, essay type question. If that is the case, then you will be using assignment module. And then you will do the upload of the file. Okay, let me see from the here from the, okay, let me check. Okay, from here, say for example, you are on TALEEM, just log in TALEEM. Okay, once one log in, you have to decide the subject that you want to conduct online. Okay, say for example, this is my subject. Okay, so once you are there in the course that you want to conduct online final examination, you enable the editing mode by clicking as usual. Okay, just turn editing on. Okay, so once done, just wait a little bit because TALEEM is quite slow these days during the traffic, I believe. People, most of us, we are using TALEEM. So the traffic is a factor now, unless you are using it late in night or early in the morning. So it will go a little bit smoother than usual. Okay, right from here, you just click a place where you want to put your examination link. Okay, your final examination link. By clicking add activity or resource. Say for example, I want to put my examination link right from the first section. Okay, and first box of my course content. Okay, so from here, after you enable the editing mode, you have all those small buttons appear. Just click add activity or resource, and then select assignment. I mentioned earlier that you must use assignment module for this purpose. So just click assignment module right from TALEEM once you log in, and then.
Dr. Fehan, may I stop you for a bit?
Yeah.
I think we can't see your TALEEM. The screen that we are seeing is your PowerPoint.
Oh, ya ke? Just okay. Let me see. Oh, mana tadi? Okay. Share screen again. Oh, maybe I select the wrong screen. I should select desktop one. Okay, fine. Sorry. I should select desktop one. Okay. Okay, can you see my TALEEM now?
Okay, now yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for asking. I thought that all of us, you are seeing the similar that I've been explaining. Okay, so from TALEEM, so make sure that you enable the from the beginning, after login, you go into your course content. Once you're in your course content, my course entitled here is research paper 1. Say for example, this is my course that I want to conduct with this particular course, my final examination. Okay, just click enable turn editing on. Okay, so once you click turn editing on, you will see that all small buttons appear as usual. Okay, right from here, you decide the location of your final examination link where you want to put it. Okay, so I want to put it right from the beginning of my content in section 1. So right from here, just click add an activity or resource and then select assignment. Okay, that's the module that you're going to use for our final examination. Okay, once you have selected assignment and then click add. Okay, just name it here final examination SEM 1202021. Okay, so you can name whatever name suitable for this final examination item, because it's up to you what you want to name it, but make sure that the name represents final examination. Okay, so once done, you have different other settings here. Okay, you can include the file down here, the file the question script. Okay, the question script that you have the vetted question paper. Okay, you receive from the department right from the additional files box. Okay, so say for example, this is my examination paper. Okay, so you just drag and put it inside. Okay, so you have it there. Okay, so whatever the examination vetted paper that you receive from the department, the final version, you will upload it and put it inside here under additional files. Okay, so once done, you decide when is the time for this particular examination will be conducted, and then it's up to the nature of the examination. It may require a couple of hours or it may require more than that. Okay, for example, my examination will require about 3 hours. Okay, about 3 hours. So I will decide during after 8. Say for example, I will have my final examination conducted on 11. Okay, 11 January, which is Monday. Okay, Monday. Okay, so you will decide here and put the allow submission of this final examination. It will be open for submission during this particular date, and then 9 o'clock. Okay, and then the due date will be the similar day. This is for 3 hours, 3 hour session. So you may just imagine if you have maybe more than that, or maybe you have more than one single day. So you have to decide the length of your final examination. Okay, so I will put that similar day for the submission, where it will require up to about 12. Okay, so it's three hours, three hours. And then for it to for you to ensure that the submission done within the time given, okay, you have to limit also the submission time, where right after the period student won't be able to do the submission. Okay, student won't be able to do the submission. In order to do so, you have to implement cutoff date. You have to implement cutoff date. Okay, by enabling the cutoff date. Okay, where you put also 11, and then the similar time, which is 12. Okay, indicating that right after, oh, not 12. Okay, indicating that after 12, student won't be able to do the submission totally. Okay, totally. Okay, so that's why during the session, protocol explanation session with your student, you have to explain. This is 3-hour session. Okay, and then you have to do the submission before the due time, half an hour. Okay, half an hour before the due time. So student must do the submission before 12. Okay, by half an hour. Okay, so they must understand that. Okay, they must understand that. Okay, so you enabling all the option. Whereas for remind me to grade, this is up to you whether you want to enable it or not. By default, normally it will appear here 1 week after the submission. Normally a couple of days after the submission. Even you can change. This is a reminder from TALEEM to yourself. Okay, indicating that you must. I mean, you should do the marking of the exams. Okay, of this I mean assignment module, which is the final examination. Okay, so once done with the availability, let me check what is this. So one done with the additional files. Okay, we're done with that. Availability of this particular final examination item to your student. So make sure that you have all this information set carefully, clearly, and in a correct manner. And then later, submission type. Okay, submission type. For this submission type, normally we will allow file submission. Okay, any file. When you click here, file submission, normally it will accept any files unless you decide here what type of file. Okay, so the default value is empty, indicating that the system will receive any files. Okay, and then the maximum submission size is 100 megabyte. This is the maximum submission of the file size is 100 megabyte. Okay, so this is the limit set by the TALEEM system. You couldn't, I mean, increase more than 100 megabyte. I think this is more than enough if it is 100 megabyte, unless you ask your student to submit maybe video clip or audio clip that will maybe require larger file size for that purpose. But I mean, in common, you will say that 100 megabyte is more than enough. If the file in the form of Microsoft Word, for instance, or maybe PDF. Okay, you may decide number of file to be submitted. Okay, the default value given is 20, but you may decide, say for example, one single file or maybe a couple of files, 2 or maybe 3. So up to the nature of the final examination. If the final examination require only one single file submission, which is Microsoft Word, so just decide and put here one single file. If it is more than one file, so you have to increase a little bit to a larger number. Okay. The feedback, well, just leave the default value as as they are with untouched. The submission setting. Okay. What else? Let me check. Okay, submission type again. Okay, For feedback types, okay, so it is also advisable if you put offline grading WS. What is it? Let me check. Offline. Okay, worksheet. Okay, you can click here. Offline grading worksheet. This is useful for those who want to do the grading offline. Okay, just get the worksheet and then you put all the marks inside there. Later you can upload the marks onto TALEEM. Okay, for it to be analyzed and then calculated. Or maybe you can put that for the purpose of uploading the data to carry mark system. Okay, the CAM system of the AMAT. Okay, it can be done that way. So advisable that you click here offline grading worksheet so that you have that worksheet downloaded and you can print it out, okay, for your own record. Okay, and then later it also submission setting. Under submission setting, it's also advisable that you click require the student to accept submission statement. Okay, this is also advisable. Okay, so what is the role of submission statement? This is for the student to aware that the statement will require the student to affirm that the work is actually his own work. Okay, it's like a statement, declaration statement. Okay, it will appear on screen before the student do the submission. Okay, so once they click yes, the declaration has been affirmed by the student, then he can do the submission. Okay, so it's good, okay, in order to make our student aware of the situation where all those information uploaded is actually from the work, from the student work, from his own effort himself. Okay, so it's also wise to select require the student accept the submission statement by changing it to yes. The default value is no. Okay, so you just put it and change the value to yes. I think the rest we can just accept as they are the values. The last but not least is the restricted or restrict access, okay, of this item. This is very crucial, very crucial. You must make sure that you put this before clicking the save button. Okay, must make sure that you restrict access. Put this information first before you click save. Okay, just make sure. Okay, you have to make sure that you put this information first. Restrict access indicating that you put a restriction. Okay, by specific time and date, only this item accessible to your students. Okay, only this item accessible to your students. So the time must be similar to the date, okay, set for this particular final exam to be to open and then receive submission from student, which is 11th of January. So you put here 11th of January, similar. Student must match the following. So this particular date, which is 11, put the 11th of January, and then the time must be by 9 o'clock. Okay, by 9 o'clock. Okay. After this particular time, okay, details, only the item open to your student. Before that, he can see the item, but he couldn't click and open the item. Okay, so make sure that you put restrict access before you click save. Make sure you put this information. If you miss restrict access and then you click save, the student can have access to your item. Maybe they can see the examination details, the examination script first, because you didn't put the restrict access. So make sure that first and foremost, you must do after finish setting and put information for final examination setting in TALEEM, you must ensure that you have restrict access enabled by giving the details of the date, which is similar to the time when the examination open. Okay, so once done, you just click save and display. Okay, so let me go to the main screen of my course. Again, quite slow. Okay, so once there on the main screen, you will see that the final examination, and there is a note here stating that available from 11 January. Student can see the content. I'm an instructor, so I can have access to the content. But for student, if your student, when he log in, he will see different, okay, different view. Say for example, I'm a student and I log in, I couldn't access the item unless I reach that particular date, which is 11 January, and that specific time, 9 a.m. Okay, so I switch my role to student, for instance. Okay, and then I open the similar content, okay, from my TALEEM. Okay, is there any difficulties pertaining to how to share the examination script? Okay, using assignment module. See, I'm now, my role is a student role. When I couldn't click, I couldn't access examination final examination item here. Okay, from the main page of my course content, I couldn't access the item because my role is a student role. Okay. Similarly, this is what happens to your student when they have access to your content. They couldn't access the final examination content unless it reaches the details of the date due for that particular final examination. Okay. So I think, is there any question pertaining to how to share the examination script with your students? Maybe I wouldn't able to see the details, but I believe that if there is any question pertaining to this, Dr. Shaza, maybe you can just highlight those questions or the issues. Then I will reply to the those issues forwarded accordingly, inshallah. Okay. So I think with that we finish step 3, which is uploading your question paper. We move to the next step, which is also similar to step 3, but I'm not sure whether do we have some courses the final examination is a form of a quiz. Okay, if it is in a form of quiz, the similar, okay, you should set different settings, okay, for your quiz MCQ. What I means by quiz here is MCQ question type, okay, multiple choice question type. In order to do so, you will use quiz module for that purpose rather than using assignment module. So you will be using quiz module. And you also must, I believe that those who want to use MCQ question type, you have good experience in using TALEEM by handling question in the form of quiz, okay, in the form of quiz, where you must have a question bank first, And then from your question bank, you extract a number of questions from your question bank and put it inside your quiz. I wouldn't go detail on the steps in order to do the quiz, but I believe for those who want to do the quiz, I believe that you're familiar with the procedures and steps how to do the quiz. Okay. And then make sure that you open the time limit, okay, for that particular quiz. Okay, you should limit the time for the quiz. Say for example, it requires 2 hours or maybe longer than that. Okay, so you have to decide. I have an example how this can be done using mine. Okay. Again, I enable the turn editing on. Okay. Okay, say for example, this is a sample of an item. I put it in the form of quiz. Okay, so you have to decide the timing, okay, for this particular quiz. You have to enable when you want to handle the quiz and how many hours for the time limit for the quiz. So for example, you want to put it, you want to open the quiz, particularly this particular date, 11th of January. Again, it will be open at 9 a.m. Okay. And then you will enable, okay, the time period for the quiz. Say for example, it require 1 hour, okay, for the quiz. Okay. And then once done, make sure that also you set different other options correctly, like review. So make sure that you have to disable all the review options. Okay, all the review options you have to disable that. So you disable all the review options. Okay, even showing the final marks of the quiz obtained by the student also will be hidden, okay, from the student. Okay, so you disable all. Under the grade option, just make sure that attempts allow, you have to decide if it is first or maybe one single try or maybe more than that, okay, twice. So you have to decide the number. If it is only one single try, just select one single try. Okay. And then other options pertaining to the maximum, edit the quiz and then randomize the question, randomize the arrangement of the option. So you have to enable that also. Okay. And then I think this is known to those who are familiar with the quiz activity. Okay, quiz activity in the form of MCQ question type. And it's also advisable that you use Safe Exam browser. Okay, Safe Exam browser, which is different other browser. Will be downloaded by the student, and then from that browser, you can have access to your quiz. Okay, you can have access to your quiz. The advantage of using Safe Exam browser is that the student will only open the browser, that particular browser, whereas different other windows or parent windows will be disabled. You can only focus the content of the of your TALEEM quiz only, whereas different other program won't be shown to your students. Even if it is program outside the browser, okay, you wouldn't able to open different other program. Microsoft Word even, you couldn't able to, the student won't be able to open different other software other than the one that he will be focusing on, which is content of your TALEEM. So that's the use of Safe Exam browser. So with that, we finish step 3, which is uploading the question to onto TALEEM. Okay. We move then to the step 4. Step 4. For step 4 and step 5, this is offline. Okay, this is offline. Is actually will be conducted offline or using different other means of communication with your, different other means of communication other than TALEEM. Okay. For step 4, this is actually a session for you to explain the examination protocol to your students. So it's a session, you and your student, where you explain the details of the examination protocols, what we expect from the student to do in the examination, final examination that you will conduct using TALEEM. So I think the details of the information, you can have that from the document disseminated by the Kuliah office. Okay, so this instruction to candidates, you have to go, okay, all these instructions, procedures, right from the beginning up till the end, the way of how the student want to name the file, and then how to, different other, procedures that will be undergone by the student. So you have to explain one by one all these procedures to your students, including the need for the student to do the submission earlier, half an hour before the due date and time. Okay, that's very, very crucial, because after that due time, the student won't be able to do the submission. Won't be able totally, because you set the cutoff date. Okay, once you have that set, then student won't be able to do the submission. Okay. Okay, so those are the procedures that you must explain, and you must have a session, dedicated session for that purpose, explaining the content of examination protocol to your students. Okay. Whereas for step 5, during the time of the examination, okay, which is for me, I said just now on 11, okay, 9 to 12. So during this period, you must make yourself available, okay, for any problems, maybe for any question, maybe for anything that when things happen. The student maybe wouldn't be able to have access to TALEEM, or technical glitch here, happen here and there, or error pop up here and there. So you should assist and help your student, and know what are the problems, okay, for the students during that period of the final examination, in order to help them, assist them overcoming some of the issues, okay, while they are having the final examination. Okay, so you must on standby mode. You must be there. Okay, you must be make yourself available during that time. Okay. Okay, so inform that also to your student, that you will be available during this period. If any things happen, in particular technical errors or glitch here and there, just let me know, okay, because you are on standby mode. Okay, this is for step 4 and step 5. And then we move further for step 6. Okay, for step 6, answer script submission, and then we mentioned just now, submission is in a form of a file. For example, the file submission is in the form of Microsoft Word. Okay, and you may request your student to submit using different method if you observe the file is bigger than 100 megabyte, because the limit of TALEEM, the system can only accept a file with a file size of 100 megabyte. Say, for example, there is a student where the size of the file is larger than 100 megabyte. Okay, so for if this happens, so you must use different other method in order to overcome the issue. Okay, by asking students to share the file on Google Drive, for instance, and then share the link, the URL, and then share the content, the URL link to TALEEM for submission. So rather than submission in the form of file, the submission will be done by sharing the URL link of the file. I think this is normally what we do with some of us, because if you want to share files in a bigger size, normally we'll put those files in TALEEM and then share the link of the file. So the similar will be will be done by your student in order to do the submission if the file size is larger than 100 megabyte. This is very rare, but if this case happens, okay, so that's the solution. Okay, that's the solution. So submission of answer script is very straightforward. Student will open the assignment module, the file examination link just now. So for example, I just changed my role to student role. Okay. Before that, just say, for example, you have the examination, final examination link available, okay? And then student will just have to click on the link when the time, comes, and then have access to the content of the question, okay? Vetted question paper, and then do the submission using, the button available there, which is add submission or something. Okay, so it's like a normal process where you ask your student to do the submission of any other assignments, the similar. Okay, so I think this is again is straightforward. It's very things that you do normally with TALEEM when you want to ask your student to do assignment submission. Okay, so just click on that button and then do the submissions. Again, prior to the submission, student will have an option to, not an option. Student must confirm the declaration. Okay, the declaration statement first. Okay, because we asked just now to enable the declaration statement. Okay, once it's appear, then the student will then confirm the declaration statement, and then he can do the submission of the final examination answer script accordingly in the form of Microsoft Word file. Okay. Okay. So I think with that we done with the final submission of this answer scripts, and then we move to the later of the step 7, where you want to check the attendance, okay, attendance of the students. This is again is very straightforward and it's clear. Right from the list of the submissions, you will know those who have submitted and those who yet to submit the final examination. Okay, right from and those who didn't do the submission, you may know from the list. Okay, you may know that from the list. I give you just an overview how this can be done. Say I move to one of my subject. Okay. Okay, right from here, say for example, I have one, I need to just turn off the editing. Sorry. Turn off the editing. Okay. Sometimes all those option or buttons get to appear due to the traffic, because TALEEM is, in certain hours, quite slow during to the normally, okay, mainly during to the because of the traffic. So just be patient. It will appear, okay, very soon, inshallah. Okay. So once you in this view, this is reading view. So you just go to the, say for example, this is one of the assignments. Okay. So you are inside the assignment. Okay. Right from here, you can click view all submissions. Okay. And then right from the assignment module of your final examination, assignment, you have an option to download all submission. See, you have an option to download all submissions. So you can download all the files submitted by your students, Microsoft Word file, or maybe different other format. Okay, right from here, from inside the final examination assignment module itself. Okay, so when you click download all submission, I click here download all submission, and I click. Okay, a file will be downloaded in my download folder. So I go to my download folder. This is the file. This is a zip file. I go to my download folder. There you go. So this is my zip file. It's written in Arabic, so you have different symbol appear, unrecognized character appear, because it's written in Arabic. I'm not sure why all these characters appear this way. Normally it's appear correctly. This is maybe due to TALEEM setting itself, but doesn't matter. It's just I can deal with it. So just click twice in order to unzip the folder. This particular file in the folder. There you go. So the folder created. When I open the folder, I have all my student files appear along with the name and his metric number. So you can just browse, go through, and then open one by one, and then start evaluating one by one the file. Okay. In this case, the examination file, the answer script of final examination file for your students. So you just go one by one. No need to have it's no need for you to be online in order to do the marking. Okay, this is easier and faster. Okay, for checking every single script and then do the marking accordingly. This is for step 6, which is download all the one submitted by your students. Step 8, download all the answer scripts. There you go. Of course, in order to know the checking attendance, just go right from the list here inside assignment module of final examination. For the subject, you can see from this list those who have submitted. Okay, maybe one or two with no submission. It will be noted here with different color. Normally with different color. So I have one here with no submission. It will be noted here with different color. So you may know those who have submitted. Those who submitted, consider them as, attended the final examination session. Those with a note, there is with no submission, you observe that, those are actually absentees, okay, from the final examination session. Okay, so I think from the list you may know list of attendance, okay, for the final examination session. We move then right from after step 8 to the letter which is step 9. Okay, for step 9, this is totally outside TALEEM platform, where you do the printing of the answer script and then start marking the answer script accordingly, which is it has no relationship with TALEEM, nor you are doing it offline with no even internet connection. No needs to have internet connection for this purpose in step 9. And then in step 10, validation of the marks given in the answer script. Again, this is very administrative in nature. It has no relationship with TALEEM. It's just you and the department, okay, for the validation of the marks given. And then the last step, which is submission of the marks to the Office of Deputy Dean Academics. For this purpose, again, it's very administrative in nature. It has no relationship with TALEEM in order to perform the last final step for this flow chart. Okay. So I think with that, we have covered the main, okay, I mean all the steps stated in the flow chart for handling final examination here using TALEEM as elaborated clearly in the flow chart. Okay. So any questions? I think I can just stop at this moment. If there's any question from the floor, I mean I'm more than happy to hear. Okay, or maybe comments from the floor. Please do.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Faham. This has been a very good session. Like I said earlier, it's a good refresher, I think, for all of us, because when we did it, it was a few months ago. Having said that, there is a question here from Dr. Aisa, which I also had the same question in mind when you were talking about the cut-off date. So the cut-off date, should it be a few minutes before the end of the exam or after? Because personally, and I think what we did last semester was to add a few minutes or even an hour after the end of the exam, so that students can still submit after the exam has finished. So maybe Dr. Faham can clarify the cut-off date. Is it before or after?
Can I ask this question to Dr. Aini? Because this is very administrative. I mean, the technicalities are there. I mean, all the tools are there. So it's just from the MC point of view. So the Office of the Deputy Dean Academics, what is actually your decision on this? Is it right after the date due, or after that with half an hour period? So maybe I can ask the Deputy Dean in order to reply to this.
Thank you for the question, Dr. Asya and Dr. Faham. Okay, on this, the one that we practiced in the last semester is we put the cutoff time after the examination. But in the protocol itself, in the protocol, in the examination protocol, we indicate to the students that they need to submit it half an hour before the time the exam ends. So let's say Dr. Faham's examination will end at 12 o'clock, right? So we advise the students to submit it half an hour earlier. But on the lecturer's part, we put it a bit later, knowing our students, our students' attitude, I would say, they will wait until the last minute for them to submit the examination answer script, because we receive a lot of problems with the submission. So we may want to somehow put a duration of half an hour after the examination ends. But we don't inform the students.
Okay.
When we have a session with the students, we just tell them for them to submit it on time, but at least for them for the answer scripts to go to get through, for it to be successfully submitted, put it in the protocol itself, is advised to submit earlier. So I hope this is clear.
Okay, if that is so, then we change a bit the cutoff date rather than put the time for me 9 to 12. So the cutoff date is 12. So you increase the time by half an hour. It's going to be 12:30 then rather than 12. Okay, that's the cut-off date. For your information, the cut-off date information, the cut-off date, info will not be disclosed. The system will not disclose this info to your student. It's actually you, the one who know the cut-off date. Okay, so you know when is the cut-off date, but the student only they may know the when the submission time open, and then when the submission time due only. Okay, whereas the cut-off date is only for you. So you just change the time to make it additional, to add an additional half an hour. But during the briefing session of the examination protocol, of course, you will explain to your student, they must do the submission half an hour earlier. Okay, half an hour early, in order to, if there is any problem pertaining to the internet connection or similar, they can, all those problems can be resolved, inshallah.
So if I may ask, the cutoff time, is it standardized at 30 minutes after the exam, or can lecturers choose maybe they want 1 hour after the exam or something like that?
Well, that question is very administrative.
Again, perhaps Dr. Aini.
I think
can answer and reply to that.
Correct. Yes, you're right.
I'm telling you, it's
a lot of issues with pertaining submission of answer scripts last semester. I keep on receiving a lot of emails from students, even from lecturers, pertaining this issue. So my advice is for the lecturers, I think you don't have to put it too long for the cutoff time. Half an hour is enough, but you can allow for cutoff time, extension of cutoff time for the particular students who have problem with submission of the internet, submission of the answer scripts due to internet connection or any issues pertaining to submission. That you can only allow for that particular students. That can be done, right, Dr. Fiam? I think that can be done just for that particular student.
It can be done.
So I think there's also another question that relates to this. Can we change the exam date and time because of some kind of emergency? I think again,
again, this is very administrative. Can they change the examination time, Dr. Aini?
Yeah.
Okay. This is related to the examination timetable, examination schedule timetable, which has for your information, the examination schedule has been released by Ahmad. All right. So the examination timetable, the schedule which has been released by Ahmad, that actually has been checked by the Office of Academic, my office, staff in my office. So they have already checked. Ahmad has already checked. There's no clashes of examination for even one single student. So we don't advise lecturers to change it, not to change it at all, not to advise, but you're not allowed to change the date or the time. Okay, so if there is any issue, any problem, you may always consult us. If there is any issue, what's the issue? What's the problem with the students? If there is any clash, because I received one complaint from a lecturer. The student mentioned that she has a clash of clash of time, for 2 courses. She'll be having 2 courses, 2 examination in one day at one time. But when we check, she actually referred to the old schedule, the preliminary exam timetable. So if lecturers tend to change the schedule, time, the students will be affected that there'll be clashes of the examination, because the examination that we are going to have just within I think it's going to be held within 2 weeks. So there'll be many examinations that the students will be sitting in. Okay, so try not to. Please do not change it. Please consult the Office of Academic first. If you were to change it, especially this is for the end of semester examination with the one with final examination, those courses without final examination, that's not indicated in the examination timetable. But this is for those courses with final examination where the timetable is already scheduled by Ahmad. Okay, so the reason is actually for the students not to have any clashes during the period.
Okay,
All right, understood, Dr. Aini.
I think that's
There's
clear from the
there's
office.
a question for Dr. Feham now. There's someone asking, how do we import question file from different formats such as Word to iTalEem? I'm not so sure about this question. Is this for the quizzes, or because if it is for the essay type question, I think Dr. Feham has showed that we can upload the file, right?
Yeah, of course. For if the question is in the form of essay format, normally you will do that in Microsoft Word or maybe in the form of PDF, okay, and then share the file with your students immediately in the additional file, the one that I'm sharing with you just now. Just upload the file and put it inside the assignment module. You have the file there. Student can open the file and see the content. Okay, which is consists of your questions, okay, for the final exam. If it is for the quiz, normally we will do that differently. We will do that using what we call, there is a specific format. I think you can refer to, our previous sessions on how to create quiz using what we call icon format. Okay, AIKEN, icon format. It's kind of tedious, but it's very straightforward. And then you have to follow the format as it is. You must be very particular using the format. Normally, it will cover questions in the form of MCQ, style. So you prepare in advance in icon format. Follow the format and very particular with the formatting, and then once done, you can upload. iTalEem will detect the question one by one. If it have been done, in the correct manner, accordingly. If you have 10 questions, 10 questions will be imported accordingly in iTalEem. If you have more than that, I think I have one lecturer before. Share with me with more than 50 questions imported using icon, and then it was done successfully. Alhamdulillah. So even larger than that, of course, once it's like, is it very technical and it's using computer. So if you prepare the content in a correct manner, it will be detected and then imported in the correct manner as well, and successfully, inshallah. So that's is the way. If you want to use Microsoft Word, I believe that again it will involve different other procedures, which may confuse some user. So for me, normally I will advise my colleagues to prepare the question in advance in the form of icon format. Okay, so you can just refer to some of the guidelines or maybe the session where we have shared how to import questions onto iTalEem using icon format. Yeah, so it can be done, but you have to undergo certain procedures in order to do that. Can be okay. What else? Other question? Any other question stated there? Safe Exam Browser is a new feature. Yeah, Safe Exam Browser is a new feature. This is dedicated for questions in the form of quiz using MCQ or maybe yes no using the quiz module. Okay, so if you have that activity or that particular final exam in the form of quiz, it's really advisable that you enable Safe Exam Browser. So student will then go to download the Safe Exam Browser first in order to have access to your quiz activity, to your quiz content. Without the browser, Safe Exam Browser, he wouldn't able to have access to the quiz. To that final examination in the form of using quiz module. So that particular browser will disable different other content, okay, other than iTalEem itself only. Okay, so only iTalEem content appeared on screen. He will just focus on the iTalEem activity or the quiz. wouldn't able to open programs, even Windows, or even see, doing different other activities other than only iTalEem. So it's very, very focused, and then it will limit the functionality of your computer. It will just focus on the activity on screen, the iTalEem. Yeah. It's actually the latest, feature, I think, in iTalEem. We don't have this feature previously installed in the previous iTalEem versions. We have it now. Alhamdulillah.
So meaning students must be informed that they need to have this.
Yeah. During the protocol, during the examination protocol, you must inform your student. This is applicable to final examination in the form of quiz, using quiz module. If it is in the form of assignment module, submission of file, no need to implement safe browser, safe examination browser.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think Dr. Aini, you can see the latest question asking about the flooding situation. If it's affecting students, what can be done? Unmute Dr. Aini, we cannot hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to unmute myself. All right. The Kuliah is already aware of this. The Kuliah management has already discussed about this issue pertaining floods in some of the states. So some of our students may have problems with the internet connection. So or they may have problem with submission of even assignments. Not even final examinations. Also, just around the corner, some may have examinations. So this is something that we need to consider. Perhaps in terms of submission of assignment, you may want to grant some extension for the students. On part of the final examination, I would say that the students may be granted for the special examination. This is for the final examination because we don't allow, I don't think we'll be able to allow the students for extension of time. But they may, if there are any, but we haven't received any requests so far. But if we receive this request, so the students may apply for a special examination. Okay, so I hope that this answers your questions, Dr. Diana.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Aini. Is there any other question or comments from anyone, especially given we've had the experience last semester? Anyone has anything to ask, anything to share? If there is...
We actually receive, if I may add on the submission, actually this is quite crucial. And when it comes to submission of answer scripts, it's quite crucial when some lecturers strict, they're very strict. When the time is there, so the students did not manage to submit it even 5 or 10 minutes later. So they did not want to accept the answer script. So the students may get 0. Okay, so I think this is something that we need to consider. If just 5 to 10 minutes, you just extend the grant, some extension, because some students, they even had to go somewhere else, outside house. They have to go somewhere else just to get a good internet connection for the examination. To get access to the internet to submit the answer scripts. So that's something which I think lecturers may need to consider. We have here, of course, we have everything in place. We've informed the students, but somehow in this case, when it comes to internet connection, some problems with the laptop sometimes, So that's something that you may want to consider as well. I received this kind of problems. We have to bring this to about just because the students did not manage to submit the refuse scripts even few minutes. Not to mention, of course, if it's 1 day or 7, 8 hours, that's something that of course we don't want to. It's okay if you don't want to accept it, but if just within less than 1 hour, that to consider is a valid excuse coming from the students. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing that I would like to also add here, Dr. Shaza, you may allow me.
Sure.
This is pertaining to submission as well, file submission. And just to add to, of course, Dr. Fiham has already covered almost everything on the flow, on the guideline. Thank you very much, Dr. Fiham, for covering everything, all this on the flow, on how to submit, on how to upload the answer scripts. all those that's good. Not to answer script, sorry, the exam question, exam protocol. Another thing I would like to add on top of what we have in the file submission in the protocol is in the last semester also we advise this as well for lecturers want to do this. Let's say if you are, sometimes you have problem with TALEEM, right, Dr. Fiham, sometimes it's not stable. So what we can do is also to perhaps if you may want, if you but that's your decision. If you may want to also add another platform, what we call it as backup platform for the students to submit the answer script. After submitting the answer script to TALEEM, they may also submit a copy of the answer script, the same answer script afterwards, just right after they submit it to TALEEM to another platform. Perhaps the majority of us are using Turnitin. So you may also want to ask your students to also submit the same copy of the answer scripts to Turnitin, so that you'll be able to trace the plagiarism, the percentage of plagiarism there. Okay, so you don't have to then do double work. You don't have to somehow save it, download it, and then you upload it to Turnitin. I think Dr. Fiham also mentioned this in the last training. So you may do you know how
Your audio is breaking.
It's breaking.
to put it there in the protocol. Okay, so the protocol is the deadline, but you may anything that you may want to add, so you may also add it. Okay, some of you, another advice is some use emails. If you were to use emails on, this is not to use email as the main platform for submission of answer scripts. The main platform for submission of answer scripts is TALEEM. This is actually the best. This is what the kuliah has decided for the submission of answer scripts. But this could be just another platform, additional platform. This is optional. So for those who want to use email, try to have a dedicated email, just for the sake of this submission of answer script for the examination purposes. Do not use your IUM email, which you may receive a lot of emails from not only from the students, but all emails that you will receive from maybe hundreds of emails every day, because we receive problems, issues on missing of answer scripts, missing of answer scripts for lecturers who did not use TALEEM. Now we have also lecturers who did not use TALEEM, so they use emails, and the students submitted the answer scripts to the email. The lecturers did not get the email because the students tend to use different nickname, for example, not the real name. So he or she could not find it. Okay, so this is also another issue that we faced in the last semester. Quite a number of issues actually pertaining to emails. In fact, cases on change of grades in the end of the semester normally is actually related to this, because lecturers, once the lecturers ask students to submit assignments even to email, so they may somehow miss some of the emails or some of the assignments or answer scripts submitted to the emails itself. Okay, another one that I would like to add here still on the student submission of answer scripts. Dr. Fiham has already mentioned about it, that we've got to check. One is to check their class attendance, and then second is to check the students' submitted assignments. Okay, another problem that we had in the last semester that we faced, some lecturers face, is that the students submitted, all students submitted, the names are there, they submitted. But when the lecturers open the file, the file's empty. There's nothing in the file. So this is also important, for lecturers. I hope to check also. Please check the file, open it one by one. Once you receive, upon receiving the submission, the submitted answer scripts at that point of time. But if it's at 12 o'clock, so we don't have any choice, maybe we can do it tomorrow. But at least to check it, not upon just when you're about to mark the assignments, it's already too late. It's very difficult for you then to trace, because once you just realize that the students submitted not wrong file, but there's nothing in it. So you may just request the students to submit it, to resubmit the file, the correct file. Okay, so those are all that I would like to highlight. Okay, Over to you, Dr. Shaza.
That time there's a question on can we use additional platform like Google Classroom for extra submission? But I think you've answered that we can, correct?
Yes, for the second platform, yes, because Google Classroom, the problem with the Google Classroom is there's no cut-off time, right, Dr. Fiham? No cut deadline. There is the deadline, but the students can still submit even after 24 hours. But we'll just get the what do you call it, notification that the students have submitted late. So this is what we don't want the students to do that, yeah, because this is final examination. If it's assignments, that's fine. If it's midterm examination, fine, quiz, but not the final examination, because we want to treat it as a final examination, like end of semester examination that we normally conduct in the examination hall.
Okay, so meaning that TALEEM is a must for everyone, right? There's no possibility of just using Google Classroom,
but additional can.
Okay, additional can.
Sure. Google Classroom is on top of it, that's fine.
Another question from anyone? While we wait, maybe if there's any question, I have another question for Dr. Aini. The flow chart that Dr. Fiham shared earlier on the front page of answer script, the printing of the front page of answer script. In the flow chart that Dr. Fiham shared, it's mentioned there that lecturers are to print those at the department. Is it at the department or in your office? Because last semester your office helped us in printing the cover page.
Yeah, it is in my office. I think that's something that that one is something that is okay. Yeah, we haven't discussed this yet actually at the department at my office, but it's the same practice. Okay. The Office of Academic Industrial Linkages will be printing it for all departments. The printing of answer scripts that needs to be done by the lecturers, but for validation purposes, it's just the what's that called? The cow page, yeah, which contains the marks, right? So that will be done by the Office of Academic, inshallah. Yeah, we'll be doing it. That one will send email to all DEAC, Department Academic and Assessment Committee later on, and head of departments as well.
Okay, thank you. So I think there's no other question for either Dr. Aini or Dr. Fiham.
If I may ask Dr. Fiham one time, it's about this, yeah, that I'm curious as well. When the students submitted, yeah, we had, I think Dr. Azizan, you faced this problem before. Dr. Azizan was here, I've seen his name just now. He faced this problem. The student submitted the document, the answer script, but it was empty. The document was there, but I don't know how did he solve. Him actually got to this. I think he referred to ITD or TSU, I'm not sure, but he got it resolved. So Dr. Fiham, so how is it possible to happen using TALEEM? I mean, this can happen to TALEEM?
That's using the previous. Is it the previous TALEEM?
Yeah, the previous, yes. Last semester. It was in the last semester.
Okay. It may happen due to the technical reasons. Okay. In particular, the system of the platform itself. Okay. But this time around, we have the TALEEM system installed on the cloud, and then with reliable server, and then with the backup, which is also again reliable, and the server is strong enough to handle the traffic. Only that traffic quite slow sometimes because of the number of the users is increasing for in certain period. But I believe that it's very I mean, probability for it to happen is there, but it's very small. Okay. There are also cases where during the time of the submission, it's happened at the user workstation, user computer. It may also happen due to the speed of the internet is a problem, where it's very slow, so that it couldn't able to upload the whole content. Okay, so due to the speed of the internet is quite slow. It also happens due to that reason where the connection is low and the file is slightly, bigger. So this problem may arise. Okay, this problem also may arise, but the probability is, is very small. From the system side, we have it covered with stronger facilities this time around. And again, if it happens at the user side with low internet connection, it's very difficult and nothing couldn't be done if it is from the student or from user side. It's very difficult. Okay, only that it should be reported, and then we should study this on case by case basis. Rather. Yeah.
But if I may add on that, actually it happened to me as well last semester. I had a couple of submissions whereby when I click on it, it was empty. And then when I check on it, it turns out that the students did not use Microsoft Word. They used another application. I think that I guess TALEEM did not support back then. I don't know about the new TALEEM, but how I figured it out because I asked the students to submit a backup in Google Classroom, and on Google Classroom I can download the file, and that's when I realized it's not Word. So I just figured that might be the reason lah, because that's the only thing that was different. Could it be, Dr. Faham?
The another issue is that maybe during the assignment module, during the editing the settings of the assignment module, setting type of file is another reason. Say for example, you set the type of file only DOC or DOCX, this is Microsoft Word. So if the submission is in a form of different other format, the system won't accept that file.
That's true.
Okay, the system won't accept those different format other than Microsoft Word, which is you have decided inside the assignment module. For that reason, why I mentioned just now, leave the default value as it is untouched. If you put type of file, then on that particular file will be accepted by the system. If there is different other format, then it won't be accepted, and then maybe an error will appear. Okay, so that maybe the source of error, why some of the content empty. Maybe there are different other possibilities, as I mentioned earlier, low internet connection, or maybe in fact the defect of the system itself. It may happen.
All right, thank you. I think I probably.
But it's very rare lah. Very rare lah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Also, the importance of the backup, right, Dr. Aini?
Always have a backup file.
Yeah.
Students also need to be reminded to keep the copy of the answer scripts until the grades released. So that's very important as well as a backup.
Okay. I think
ask.
Yeah, Dr. Azizan.
Yeah, Prof. Azizan. Yeah.
I just say this because my name was mentioned, so I will.
Yes. I'm from MTU,
From different country, maybe the character used in the application or the software, there is a Chinese character. So I think I immediately contacted, and then I think they sent it through email. I think it was solved. Okay, that is one thing. There's few possibilities, but another thing is, can we, for example, in briefing the students, since it will take time, if we are to go through the or reading the exam protocol, if we can just post them, post this exam protocol in TALEEM for students to view, of course, without questions, meaning that they know beforehand what are the instructions. Is it okay with that?
Yes, you can do that, Prof. No problem. But don't don't give the questions in advance.
Yeah. And pertaining to the question also, when we upload, I do not know, because there are so many of us, there could be error whereby we forget to, let's say, put the restrict access thing, and the possibility of student being able to see. So I think that what I did was I just upload first the file with with password, an encrypted one. So maybe 1 hour before the time, then we just delete that one and then include another one. That will be the safeguard for us in case we forget on this. And the last one is anticipating the possibilities of the technical errors. Who are on duty on that particular day, where when we can contact them straight away. I mean, at least the contact persons.
Contact person of, you mean from the Office of Academic?
IT, particularly IT.
IT.
Yeah, I have a phone number of Dr. Fiham, no problem.
Okay, I'll try to get the contact number because
Don't call me, Doctor. Don't call
Yeah.
me.
Okay,
Normally, I'm the center of TALEEM lah, which
Yeah.
is PD, Dr. Mira and her team.
Yeah.
Under Dr. Mira, we have a team, I believe under her, there is a team responsible in handling the TALEEM technicalities, in particular, the technical parts. And then even, all the team members can have access to the system directly, and then troubleshoot, the TALEEM accordingly once the reports are received by the team members. Normally, that's the procedure.
Okay, thank you very much.
All
Even
right.
if you contacted Dr. Aini, Dr. Aini will also
Yes.
communicate.
You may contact me then, and
Dr. Mira.
I will inform because I will communicate with Dr. Mira.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, is there any other question from anyone? No, I think we're also beyond 4:30 already. Maybe this is a good time to end the session. Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining today, and especially to Dr. Fiham for giving us the training. It has been, again, very, very helpful. Okay, I think we can end the session here. Thank you, Dr. Aini, as well, for organizing it. Assalamualaikum, everyone.